G'day and welcome back for more Space Engineers Survival. I've brought the tick back home after our very successful attack on the enemy base. We have now got a nice clear plain that we could consider as a good location for a new solar farm, which is something I am thinking of in the back of my mind. However, I'm not going to allow myself to be distracted by that just yet. We have a few things that we need to do. I think that since the silo has met its purpose, we should probably finish it off before we do our attack. And the attack that I have in mind at the moment is going to involve the chicken hawk, it's going to involve some sandbags, and it's going to involve the bin chicken. My thought was to attach everything to the bin chicken, 4 sandbags, the chicken hawk, all attached, fly the bin chicken out there and get an altitude high enough that we're clear of the enemy turrets. Once we're in that position, we drop the sandbags, and we probably need to add an extra parachute to each one so that they flip upside down. Then they can slowly drift down into range of the enemy turrets, and once they're in range of the enemy turrets, and I probably don't actually want to do this as a slowly drift down now that I think about it. What I probably want to do is have the parachutes open at 600 meters above the ground so that they open when the sandbags are in range of the enemy. Once that's happened and the sandbags are occupying the enemy turrets, I can then take control of the chicken hawk, fly it in, carefully surgically take out each of the turrets, deactivate the sandbags, and it all should hopefully work. It's a pretty complicated way of going about it, but I think it could be fun to see if we can pull that off. And then we'll have an enemy base ready for the taking. Which means we can move on to the next one. No, wait. It means we can build a salvage trailer for the goose. That would be the next thing. Yes. Yes, that would. Excellent. The things that are going to distract me before we do that are that we are going to build the living quarters and the command and control center in the silo, because I want that silo to be complete. I want it to feel finished. Because it's a smallish build, small-ish by Splitsie standards, but still probably fairly large. It's going to take a few thousand plates to build. Because it's a smallish build, we should be able to get it completed. And I mean totally and utterly completed. And that would be really nice, so that we know that it's done and we don't need to worry about it anymore, and we can just be happy that it's finished. In fact, I might put more of those in. Oh, I know what I'm going to need to make. I need to make a bunch of computers before I do much else, because I'm going to be building lots of those consoles, and each of them takes 100 computers, so I'll order a few of those up. What else do I need to take over there at the moment? Don't think I need too many interior plate. Maybe an extra 100 motors, and then the rest can be steel plate. Okay. Something I have done to the Ugly Duckling is add a timer block that allows me to straight away disconnect. However, it looks like some of these thrusters are on when they shouldn't have been. So the timer block was meant to turn on the antenna, turn on the lights, turn on the thrusters, turn on the antenna. Did I already say that? Basically control everything that's meant to happen with docking. It was supposed to do. So when we press it, everything turns off. When we press it again, everything turns on. Unfortunately, some of the thrusters were on the wrong setting, so I just had to fix that. But that's something I've started doing to each of the builds in the base. Something I probably should have done when I first constructed them, but at least I'm finally getting around to it now, I suppose we could say. I'm glad I have all those GPS markers, because I can't see anything. My player headlights aren't on. That's never good. Well, this is slightly terrifying. Especially since I'm so heavily laden with gear. I can make out where this is, though, because of the lights that are in the corridor. Oh dear. Ow. I'm glad I had the drill there. Probably shouldn't have turned so early. I don't have much braking force sideways. Gentle, 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 gentle. Come on. You can do it. There we go. And dock. My thoughts with this base are that we need to have a command and control center. We need to have a bunk room. We need to have bathrooms. And we need to have sort of a facilities area, so a kitchen. And I want them to be separated? Yeah, I want them to be separated from the base. And my thought is we could turn this area where I've got the batteries into a corridor that leads down this way. And at the end of it, we have the control room. And then branching off from the control room, we can add things like the living quarters and that sort of stuff. I want this corridor to be relatively long, so we've got plenty of space on the sides to put the batteries, the programmable blocks, the timer blocks, and I do want to have an oxygen system here so that I can refill my hydrogen. Which, as I notice, I only have a single bottle left, so I should probably fly back to base and refill that before I get too distracted by the build. Okay, now we've got a bit of clear space. The reason I've dug down here is I want to put the oxygen system inside this corridor. So, my thought would be, if we grind away here... Oh, did I drop anything? No, miracle. If we grind away there, place one of these bits in here, then a couple of straight tubes, and we should be able to go directly to another one of those plates. So there we go. With a conveyor tube pipe there, and then the pipes like so. That's all nice and neat. We can then put a normal conveyor tube on top of that, which will allow us to put a nice big pipe into the back of the hydrogen generator, which should be perfect. I'm just going to weld these up now because if I don't, it's going to be annoying because I won't be able to build the rest of the stuff in this corridor. So conveyor junction there, conveyor corner there. Let's grab some steel plate, steel arm blocks. My idea with this whole living quarters thing is to make it feel quite claustrophobic if I can. I want it to feel really... Oh boy. Just noticed my hydrogen. That is not good. I'm going to have to fly back home. Oh, do I have enough? Alright. Dang it. Knew I should have gone earlier. No, I can't do what I was about to do because I'll run out of hydrogen. Let's get rid of that because what I want to do here is put in another small cargo container. Can I do it? Will it let me? Yes. Because I don't think I've got enough storage space for all the stuff that's in the ugly duckling right now. There we go. I might leave that open so that I don't forget to link everything back up. Alright, let's fly the ugly duckling down. I guarantee I'm going to need more than what I brought with me anyway, so I may as well take it back and grab another load. While I get myself some hydrogen too. The lights are out. I'm hoping that's just because of the midnight sun that I happen to get. And that's why Izzy's script has decided to turn off the lights. It's kind of impossible for a script like that, I would say, to predict exactly when the sun rises because of the derpy way that light actually manages to get through the voxels of the planet. So I effectively get 2 daytimes in one day, which makes it very difficult for it to calculate the cycles. I've also made it even more difficult by being in a valley where the light comes through at strange times. If you're wondering why I've conscripted the ugly duckling back into service, it is because it's the only one with a vertical connector that can actually hold stuff in its cargo. The Butterball does have a vertical connector, but it goes through small pipes to get to its cargo system, so it doesn't work for carrying all of the components. It's the same reason why you can't use many or any of my mining vehicles to attach welders to, because I almost always take advantage of the fact that for a welding? I meant drilling vehicles. Anyway, Any of my mining vehicles can't be used for welding or grinding because I almost always take advantage of the fact that I don't need to have large conveyors. And because I'd initially designed the Ugly Duckling as a cargo transport, I did line its connector up with the cargo container, which caused me other problems, but right now is actually quite handy. Whoa! Forgot I didn't have my jetpack on. Almost fell down the cliff. Whoopsie. Ah. And then almost fell down a hole as well. Drat. At least I didn't lose any of the parts. Cargo is fixed. Floor is fixed. Now we can go back to building our corridor. So for this corridor, as I was trying to get to before I realized I ran out of hydrogen, and for the rest of this base, I want it to feel claustrophobic. I want it to feel like a place that you would have to be a certain type to be able to manage there long term. Kind of like the person who can become a submariner. Someone who doesn't get that feeling of being trapped when they're underground or when they're underwater, miles away from help, and with only themselves and their crewmates to survive. That's a special kind of person. So I want you to feel like that's the kind of person that works here, which means everything in here, pretty much everything in here, is going to be built with a single block height. Because I want to generate that sensation. And it also means that I want this corridor to be long enough that you feel like you've actually gone somewhere as you walk down it. Which will hopefully not be so long that I run out of things to fill it with. But that is why I thought to put the oxygen-hydrogen system in here, as it will give it a little bit of extra equipment to put in. And I'll probably even put in an oxygen tank. It's totally unnecessary and it would be just for appearances. What I've been laying out in here is the rough shape of the corridor. It's not going to be 3 blocks wide, but because the stuff on the sides that's going to make this feel tight isn't always a complete block in size, I need to have the armor plate behind it so that we don't see the rocks. Because in this base, I don't want to see the rocks. Unlike my main base, where in the hangar, the exposed rock is kind of the look I was going for, I wanted to do something different for the silo. And that means we need to hide it in every situation. The good part about that, though, is I don't have to do any accurate drilling and I can just drill out whatever I feel I need at the time. As long as I don't accidentally pop through to the surface, I don't mind how much excess I mine out. Which should make the drilling a lot quicker than it would otherwise be. Here? Yeah, that'll feel long enough when it's tight. Space for a door. So now we need to get the oxygen system. Let's just clear these off and we'll use this for pretty much everything. We need O2 generator. We need tank. And that's actually it. So the rest of it I will do with normal conveyors, which I have somewhere in my hopper. Yeah, I do. Good. So start with the generator, and I think this is the best side of it. Yeah, don't want that side. Don't want that side. That's the most interesting side. So we'll put that one forward. Then we will grab a straight conveyor tube. And then we'll put a pipe in. Not a pipe, a tank. And I do want the oxygen lettering. And I think I'll put the lettering that way. No, it felt more comfortable that way. Cool. What else do I need to be carrying? A bunch of stuff. Let's go finish those off. Ooh. Before I get too far into it, let's grab a vent. And I'm not going to leave this vent on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a vent on the end, which I will set to depressurize so that we can fill that oxygen tank before we ever bring any ice here. The upshot of that is that we will not have to worry about using up our ice to fill the tank. Since the tank is there just for looks, we may as well put the vent in and use the fact that we're in an oxygen-rich atmosphere. There we go. Temporary vent. And depressurize on. Now if we have a look at our tank. Yeah, that's not going to take too long to fill. So once it's filled, we will then get rid of that vent because we're not going to use them anywhere here. What I am going to use, though, is... Wait, what do I need for that? Interior plate. Drat. What I am going to use, now that I've got the materials I need for it, is these vertical windows. My plan is to put them along the top like this. Similar to what we did in the server room, but I've got an idea to make it look even better. And it's something that I want to implement in the server room in the main base as well. I want to have these nice and close to us, but they still leave this cube clear for us to put something on it. Something I have noticed using these windows, which is disappointing, is they don't have an attachment point on their underside. If I want to build lights like this, I need to have an object on the side of it. So, like the rest of this base, it doesn't, because of the way that I've done the lighting in the rest of this base, it doesn't actually matter since I can put some corner lights on the floor as everything in here is pretty much underlit or lit from underneath. Now, with that down there, what I'm going to do is place down a bunch of light armor along here, like so. And then you can see that there's just that single row of block space for me to put batteries and all of the other paraphernalia in. Then, at the end here, we'll have a door. Now, I've got doors somewhere here, don't I? Yeah. So the door will go there. And then we can actually have this vent continue through. And my thought was to have this venting system continue throughout all of the living spaces, using the slatted windows as the vent. The really cool thing about creating a vent like this, though, which I hadn't thought about previously, is that this creates vents you can actually move through. There can be somebody in the vents. There can be something in the vents. We can put lights up here in the bits above the doors because I don't need to put windows there. It leaves this cube free for us to put like a gentle pale blue glow sort of thing up there or other effects like that to keep the creepy feeling going. Alright, I'm going to weld all this up and then we'll jump on to the next bit. I'm going to try and do this build stepwise like this so that we go through each part and I'll just weld up as I go. That way we'll get the real feel of the place as it's coming along. Okay, so this is all the vents in and you can see it kind of works, but I have an idea that makes it even better, or at least I think it makes it better. No, I didn't really give myself anything to latch onto. Let's use that. So if I start putting these interior wall blocks in and use the pipe side, we then get to look up and see those pipes through the slats. I think, oh, actually, yeah, that'll totally work. I'm going to cheat it. I'm going to cheat the lighting on here. Let's just create enough room. Alright, what I'm going to do, let's just, oops, not paint stuff, weld stuff. Weld up that one and that one. Just so that we can get an idea of how this looks. What I want to do is grab a single corner light and put it there. I'm then going to make it blue. So we'll go with 105 and maybe 165. Is that kind of the bluish? Yeah. Increase its range so it just reaches the other side of the block, but doesn't reach, or just reaches into the vent. Yeah, like that. Make it really pale though. Let's have a look. Let's see how this looks from underneath. Does it work? Kinda. It's a pretty minimal effect. It's probably not worth it. Drat. I was hoping that would create a cool effect. I think we could achieve it. Something interesting if we change up how we do this though. What if instead of putting that there... Oh, right. Oh no, this could work. This could work. Instead of putting that there, we go and we add another vent piece there. And we just do a little bit of drilling out this way. I really want this silo to have a mood to it that's completely different to the base. If we place an armor block there, and an armor block there, another interior wall up here, and another one there, we shouldn't really be able to make out this part. So we can place a... yeah, we'll just place a wall, an interior wall in there. Oh no, wait, I need to do something else first before I do that. That block's not going to provide power, so we need to connect it. Place our interior wall. Let's use pipes. Looks better. Let me jump up there. Crouch jump? I know I can fit. I know I've fit it before. Let me get in. There we go. Sorry about that. Now what we can do is actually put in... do I want to put the light? Maybe we'll put corner lights like that in. Then it's in between the block. The thing I was struggling to decide just then was, is it going to be... Okay, let's get rid of those so we can finish welding that first. So the thing I was having trouble to decide then was which way to put the light. The reason I was having trouble with that is I want both the color and shape on these interior wall blocks as the roof, and I wouldn't mind having some of it on the vertical windows as well. If I put the light in a particular position, because the offsets keep getting reset, I can't use that to set it up exactly where I want it. So I need to position the light where I want it. And this puts the light dead center of the block. So when we increase our radius, let's see where we go to. Let's go to there. Then decrease our intensity. Okay, we've got a little bit of blue spill on the floor, which isn't ideal. I didn't weld up this, which isn't ideal. Let's go grab the parts we need for that. So imagine that there will be stuff in here, so we won't see a lot of that spill that's on the floor. What do we see up in the roof? Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm happy enough with that. I think that's a good enough effect for what I'm after. So I can put in a couple of these little alcoves with lights around the place, up in the ducting, which I think will create the kind of lighting effects that I'm after and the kind of mood in this space that I'm after as well. Should be cool. That's probably not the easiest way to do this. This is. Yeah. So in the bit without all of the ambient lights from the emissive strips, it really does get the effect I was after. Look at that. Spooky. Awesome. Yeah. Alrighty. That's one step done. It's quite pretty out here with the sun up. I keep spending so much time in the dark. What a time to catch the sun. Nice little sunrise, recharge, and a literal recharge because I was almost out of power. And there we go. Alright. Let's build that door that's at the end of the corridor. I'm pretty happy with how this feels. So on the other side of this door is going to be the control room. Now for the control room, there are a couple of requirements I had in mind. The first is that I want it to be a little bit like the Cape Canaveral or Houston, whichever one. The main NASA one, where you've got all of the consoles and then you've got a big screen. Whoops. You've got a big screen overlooking the whole thing. And on that big screen, I'm going to put the map, even though it doesn't look very military with its little house symbol. I still want to use it because I think it'll look cool. And then I'm going to use the Colt command consoles for the rest of the consoles in the room. The trouble I've got is that if I'm going to make this still feel claustrophobic, I need some way to make the room feel very full, despite having a tall enough ceiling that we can have the map on the wall. And I want to have the map on the wall in such a way that it's not on the floor, so that it starts one block up from the floor. So my idea is to have the floor of the control room down at this height, have a walkway of catwalks across, stairs down this side, and then a door this way, which will lead into the rest of the facility. That's going to be about our width of the room. The other wall will come up here. We'll have a doorway there. Alright, door in there, and then we go with... where is it? I love that Showerstall has 1,000 of these in here, but geez, it can sometimes make it hard to find stuff. There we go. Catwalk. Then we want stairs with stairs left. There we go. So the stairs like that. Now, this is the bit I'm not sure about what I want to do. If we walk down these stairs, I want you to come around and be kind of in the consoles already. So, if we jump to... where have I got the consoles on here? Nowhere. Let's just use that one as a placeholder. So if we pop a couple of those there... actually, maybe we leave that as a gap. Then put consoles all the way to the other wall. Doesn't make sense that you would snake around the consoles to get to the front wall. So if we leave it a straight path, that will make some degree of sense in terms of the room's organization. So we have consoles all the way across there. I'm going to put some of the ones with seats in. I just want to use this as a quick placeholder. Something like that. Or do we... then I was going to have the big screen wall up there. Or is it going to be better if we do use the curved ones? I wasn't going to use the curved ones here, but maybe I should. Curve, curve, and a straight one here. I want this to be a fairly impressive command center, which, well, if you compare it to the bin chickens, is probably not quite so impressive, but the bin chickens was excessive and I'm going to make smaller at some point. I think that'll kind of work. Now we just need a space in front of them. Then we can have our wall. I think that'll work. I think that'll feel tight. It'll feel like it's full. I can put a transformer down the back there, which I think will add a little bit of extra detail. But I still think we might be left with a bit too much space. We'll find out. Let's build all this. I'll actually change up the consoles, I think. And I'll weld up all the walls, and then we can try and see if there's something we could use to fill in the space that's left. And if I can't think of anything, I'll just build the roof and then get you guys to help me. So the LCDs would go on these 6 blocks so that you can see them from up high as well as down here. Now I may need to lift the roof just a bit more to really fit it in, but I think this will work. All right, I'm going to weld this up, then we'll figure out what to do with the vent, we'll figure out what to do with that space in front. This is sort of the command center I was thinking of. We've got all these consoles, we've got the map up there. And because I thought of this place as being crewed by maybe 4 to 6 people, I didn't want to put too many more consoles in there, otherwise there'd be more consoles than people. We've got 3 chairs down here, which I think is adequate. I just don't know what to do with this wall. It feels really blank, and it feels like it's missing something. I wonder if we get rid of some of those and go... I wonder if some of these would fit in. So I think these kind of work on the wall. I'll leave them there for now, and I guess we'll see over time. Now, for the roof, what are we going to do? I need to have a bit more clearance above the top of the map. I think it'll look funny if it's not. Maybe if I'm going to have the vent come through, or do I just put windows like this on here? Maybe I'll do that. I'm going to put vertical windows, one there, one there. And then it gives me a bit more freedom with what I can do in the roof. Because I think I was going to be quite constrained if I didn't do that. Let's clear out a bit of this roof, and then I'm going to elevate the arch into the ceiling. I think something more like what I did in the refinery area, where it's got that little bit of inset into the roof. Okay, let's try using these. One there. Then I might just use half slabs in between. How's that going to look? I think this will work. I think it's simple enough. Alright, I'm going to weld all this up. Have I got stuff in there for these? Some. I think this has worked. I think we've got a good enough roof in this place. What I could possibly do just to make it come down and feel a bit tighter is do a slope there and there and in each corner. I know I've got to leave this corner. Oh, do I need? No, I don't really need to leave that corner free. I can totally weld that up over there. Yeah. How's that go? Yeah, that looks heaps better. I'm much happier with that look. Much better. Now for lighting. Some corner lights underneath the screen here. And maybe just a pair up here. Yeah, I think that feels alright. Command room done. I might as well, while I'm at it with the lighting, pop in some along here. Okay. My idea with this lighting was to have bits where it's bright and then dark and bright and then dark. And I had a similar idea with the elevator, and I feel like along this corridor and along the corridor out there, it works. It breaks up the corridor a bit, and with all of this stuff pressing in around us, I think it'll create a bit of extra variety in the way that it's lit, which is always nice. So we've got our corridor done. We've got our command and control center done. I think the next room... Oh, I'm almost out of power. Let's just sit on one of these chairs. So this next room is going to be our little kitchen area, common room sort of space. So with a door through here leading into what'll probably be the bunk room and a sort of shower area off the side of that. Then a door through here that'll lead to... Oh, actually... Is that going to work? Yeah, that'll work. That'll work okay. Door through here that'll lead to a bathroom. So, just toilets and things. Window there, window there, window there. Then we pop another one there. Because these vents will follow the routes that you would walk through. And then we'll leave a hole in the ceiling that we can get up to so that we can weld everything up and place... Oh, let's leave that one as a gap. Then we can place all our interior wall blocks up there as well. So for this kitchen area, I don't think we want a full-on cooker. I think that's sort of excessive. Let's go with a sink and a fridge. And we need some tables and chairs, which I've popped on there. And I might see if we can fit this arcade machine in as well, just for fun. So if we go with fridge... Oh. Maybe I want those the other opposite ways. Then I think we can put the Space Invaders over here. Yeah. I think it'd just be fun to have something like this in this silo base that's otherwise really serious, to have a Space Invaders arcade machine. There we go. Man, I remember playing that on the 386. There we go, Space Invaders. Cool. Alrighty, we just need some medical components for the refrigerator and we'll be sorted for that. I think this little break area looks pretty solid. Next time I'm going to build the barracks and I'll build the bathrooms onto here. But if you guys have any other ideas of things to pop in here... And, oh, that's right, I said I was going to put a transformer box in here. I think we could pop one over in the corner there. And the red would kind of bring it out and make it a bit more interesting. Why don't we do that quickly? Alrighty, transformer box. There we go. How does that look? Yeah, I think it adds a nice touch. I do have a few ideas of what we can fill this corridor with. I've got more batteries to put in, just so that we don't really need to ever recharge this thing, at least in normal use. And also a couple of programmable blocks, some timer blocks. But I'm wondering if you guys can think of anything else that would be interesting to make this corridor fully cramped, just with equipment lining both sides. I want to try, if I can, to avoid having any armor blocks except for this one. That one's needed because it goes through to this side of the wall. But all the rest of it, I want it to be equipment so that it feels like we've used up every possible bit of space that we've got available to us. As I think that'll make it more interesting to look at. And make it have that feeling of tightness, of being overly cramped. I'm happy with how this control room worked out. Adding this transformer box, I think, adds a nice little bit of variety to the colouring. But what I could possibly do is also make these bits grey. Oh yeah, that adds a bit more depth and a bit more variety. If you've got any other ideas of things I could put in here, because it's not that exciting to look at, let me know. Same for if you think I should have more rooms than just a barracks and 2 more bathrooms back here. If there's anything else that you think should be included in this command center before we're finished. Well, next time we'll get on to building all of that, and we will get on to building the roof to the launch tube with all of its beautiful lava. So there's that, and plenty more to come, and I'll see you then.